Agree. Are you seeing me now?
Yeah, bro. You look well professional, sharp. Yo, get it. We go at
Hepburn's Glass Supplies is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glasses. We have in stock gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none, with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 908-0962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass, quality service is our priority.
The National Religious Partnership Media and Radio presents Let's Talk Worship and Music, The Experience. Live on NRP Radio every Monday evening from 8 to 9:30 p.m. Join the team of Omar Tomlinson, Trevor Singh, Marlon Fraser, alongside Leon Nash as they delve into the various issues relating to this crucial aspect of church ministry. It's an experience you do not want to miss.
There's always a word in time to meet all your conditions. And right here on nrpmediaja.com, it's no different. Join the NRP family every Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock for the Amplified Word. The Amplified Word will provide you with encouragement, motivation, and spiritual direction. Come on board and tell a friend. You will be glad you did. The Amplified Word, every Wednesday morning at 9.
And repeated every Sunday at noon.
Only on nrpmediaja.com.
23 minutes now after the hour of 1 o'clock. It's time for us to head over to our sports department and have our sports blitz, our Saturday sports blitz right here on Sports 365 on NRP Radio. Stand by.
Welcome to the Sports Blitz. I'm Davian Nugent, and we'll start our sportscast with news from the World Under-20 Championships, where Jamaica is currently competing in Eugene, Oregon. Day number 2 saw Jamaica taking 2 silver medals in the women's and the men's 100 meters. Shanoya Douglas, representing Jamaica, had to play second fiddle to Nia Maxwell of the United States, who won the gold medal. On the men's side, it was, as expected, a battle between Tate Taylor and Gary Card, the American again winning out in the 100 meters, taking gold, while Gary Card had to settle for silver. Day number 3, though, saw Jamaica taking its first gold medal. And it was a battle between the Jamaican Mark Anthony Edwards and Niall Smith of America, with the final jump from Mark Anthony Edwards sealing gold for the Jamaican. A jump of 17.08 meters was the furthest jump for the under-20 level for the year 2026. It was also a personal best for the Jamaica College man, who secured Jamaica's first gold medal as the field events continues to do well for Jamaica. On the cricketing side of things, the West Indies failed to secure their first series victory against Pakistan in 26 years. The West Indies came into the second test 1-0 up, knowing that a draw would have secured them a series victory. Unfortunately, the West Indies, they failed to secure a draw. As a matter of fact, they lost by 8 wickets to the Pakistanis, who broke a streak of 8 losses overseas. The Pakistanis, propelled by a innings of 160 runs in the first innings by Abdullah Shafiq, uh, powered their way to that 8-wicket victory. In the first innings, it was Jamel Warrican who took 6 for 112 for the West Indies to see the Pakistanis out for 387, 43 runs higher than the West Indies' first innings score of 344. The cricketing world for West Indies will now turn to the CPL, as the CPL started just last night. We'll now take a look at the sporting world, and joining me to discuss some of the news from the World Under 20 Championships happening in Eugene, Oregon, is my good friend, Mr. Gavin Sinclair. Gavin, how are you doing today?
I am good. Good afternoon, listeners. I'm actually tuning in to some of the under 20 championships as we speak in Oregon.
Yeah,
Good.
it's happening in Oregon. So we're going to be, as we did last week with the Commonwealth Games, we're going to be giving you periodic updates of what is happening. We'll start though with the news from the 100 meters. Shania Douglas, Gary Card, both, I'd suppose, favorites going into the finals of the 100 meters. Some may have said Tate Taylor was favored against Gary Card after his run in the 200 meters, just short of Goat's under 20 record, world junior record. But those 2 silver medals, was it underperformance from the Jamaicans, or did it go as expected?
I mean, as you would have said before, the Jamaicans, Shania Douglas and Gary Card, would have been preferred to be winners. They would have been the favorites going in, with Shania Douglas, her time early in the season of 10.98, and Gary Card is world under 20 national record of 9.93. So with those spectacular times early in the season, they would have been favorite because they had better personal best times than Mia Maxwell, who won the 100 meters under 20. And so going in, they would have been preferred to win gold. I don't think it's underperformance. As I was just telling a friend, it's a bit difficult to peak twice in a season, and we would have seen Shania Douglas speaking in March, and Gary Card, you probably could say he peaked for the national championships, and that was a few good weeks ago, some weeks ago. So it's difficult to maintain that form and to repeat the performance. Gary Card, you would have needed another personal best or equal personal best to win Tate, because Tate clocked 9.94.
Mm-hmm.
Card PB was 9.93, as I said. So you would have needed another personal best, and it's not every day you are going to run a personal best. So I think they did very good performances nonetheless. 11.17 is still commendable for an under 20 athlete, and also Gary's, I believe 10.05 is also commendable. So it's not on the performances, but you can only control what you can do, and in some instances, other athletes are just going to outperform themselves, and I think that's that is what occurred in the 100-meter races.
Mm-hmm. How about the suggestion by some that the schedule would have been unfavorable to some of the athletes? For example, we have the 100 meters, you have the heats and the semifinals on day number 1, and then you have the finals on day number 2. We have, for example, the uh, situation with Abel Mills, who made both the finals of the shot put and the discus throw, and both the finals starting basically simultaneously. One final starting, I think, an hour and a half before the start of the next final, the discus finals. I think it was starting an hour 40 minutes before the start of the shot put finals. What say you about the schedule? And again, even with the 400 meters, you have round 1 and then the semifinals of the 400 meters on the same day. And then the athletes coming back on day number 2 to do the finals. The folks who are doubling 100, 200 double, they have the 100s, the 100 finals. Then day number 3, they come for 2 rounds of the 200 meters. Day number 4 come for the finals of the 200 meters. What say you about the schedule?
I mean, so the scheduling has been some concern, particularly coming out of the athletes' village, and you would have heard some feedback from some of the coaches querying it and wondering if that's the best scheduling possible. I think though for the 100 meters, even though it's where we saw we had we had the heats and the semi on the same day and the final on the next day. I don't think that's much different from the format that existed previously, because that format saw where you had the heat on day 1, and then you would have the semi, and then maybe one and a half hour after you have the finals. So in that case, for the 100 meters specifically, I don't think it's much different. I think it becomes a concern, in particularly for those who double up, as you mentioned, the 100, 200, having to run 200 meters the same day, that can negatively affect the athletes, especially because they wouldn't have been exposed to that type of formatting. So it would have, it would take great coaching and the entire team to come on board to ensure that the athletes are well prepared mentally and physically. So it goes from the administration to the masseurs to the actual coaching. So I think the coaches with the more experience, more expertise, they would have seen better results because they were able to better condition their athletes. But I think it's not the new format or the new scheduling. I don't think it's far off the previous formatting. It's just that you'd have to, the body and the mind will take some time to get used to it.
Yeah, and as we speak about that, we can confirm that the Jamaican team, the Jamaican women's 4x400 meters, they have made the finals of that event. So the 4x4 for women have made the finals for Jamaica, with them competing in the third heat. They finished third to make the final, a time of 3 minutes 35.93, led off by Daniela Dixon in 53.99. Christine Herbert had a time of 53.59 on her leg. Davine Dickinson, 53.25. And Shanika Lindsay closing it out in 55.10. They will go into the final with the 8th fastest time, but I'm supposing we might see a change. We might see McLean, young Shamika McLean, coming in for that team. What do you think about the chances of that team, that's the women's 4x4, securing a medal for Jamaica?
I think there needs to be a change for the ankle leg, because if you look on the splits, the fastest time was Dixon on the first leg, and also Herbert. I think Herbert had the second fastest time in that leg, but it was a poor ankle leg for Lindsay because her time was 55, and that was, I think that was the 7th best, 7th of 9. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, you're right.
Yes, I think they going into the final exchange, they were well positioned to win that. I think going into the final, there needs to be a change for the ankle, and we should see where they can contest for a medal, because I think they have some good running in them, and some good quality.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think we're going to be a stronger team for the final when Shamika McLean comes in. The men's 4x4, they're getting ready to go ahead and get their run on the way. Again, we're watching those events and results coming in live. So as we did with the Commonwealth Games, we're watching what is happening in Eugene, Oregon. We can't leave today's program though without mentioning the the performance of Michael Andre Edwards, 17:08 in his sixth and final round to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Excellent performance from the Jamaica College man.
Yeah, definitely excellent. To think that he was fourth after 3 rounds, out of the medal, the medal standing, being fourth, and then on his fourth round, he was able to, you know, overtake the lead, and on his final attempt, jumping 17:08, to leave with a world under 20 world lead in time. It is an excellent performance from him, and it says a lot when an athlete is able to save their best jump for the final, especially if it's a outstanding performance like that. So we are grateful for Michael Andre Edwards. He has given us the only gold so far after receiving both silver in the men's and women's under 20 100 meters. So definitely an excellent performance from him, and we can only hope to see good things from him in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I want to pull it up because when I was coming into the event and I was doing my medal predictions, I was saying, well, I'm hoping against hope that he can take a medal, but it's going to take a personal best. It's going to take a big performance from Michael Andre Edwards to get that medal. But let's go with the series because I want folks to understand the quality of the series that he put down. And I'm going to walk the folks through it. And for those who understand track and field, they'll understand how good the series it was. So in round number one, Michael Andre Edwards, 1376. That 1376 placed him ninth overall. So after round one, he was ninth overall. And if you're ninth after 3 rounds, you're not going to get a jump. You're not going to get any more jumps. That's it. You're out. So after round number one, he was ninth. After round number two, he moved up to seventh. Right? So seventh. And at that position, you're saying, well, you get a couple more jumps at seventh. Let's see if he can get in those couple more jumps. He can stay in seventh and maybe snatch a medal from somewhere. Round number four, round number three, sorry. Round number three did 16.23.
Right.
Moved him up to fourth.
The first
right?
round, he only managed to leap
Yeah,
to
man.
15.7 meters.
Yeah. First round was 1376, which had him ninth. Second round, 1521, moved him up to seventh. Third round, 1623, moved him up to fourth. Now you're thinking medal. You're
Right.
thinking maybe we can see a medal. Fourth round, he did 1608, still in fourth. So after 4 rounds, he was fourth. He had moved up from ninth to seventh to fourth. And now you're thinking 2 more jumps. Let's see if he can snatch at least third place. Then in the 5th round, he exploded. Coming into these competitions, he had a personal best of 1630, I believe, 1630. 5th round, 1671 for a massive personal best, 41 centimeters on his personal best in the 5th round. That moved him up into first position. After that jump, in the same 5th round, the American Miles Naismith jumped 1679, which put him in first position. So now, after doing a massive personal best, taking the lead, Michael Andre Edwards now moves is now pushed down into second after a big personal best and a massive jump. You're now in second. And you have one final opportunity to change history. And change history he did. He added 37 centimeters to his personal best in the 6th round. So he added 41 in the 5th, and then in the 6th round he added 37 centimeters and went 17:08, which is a world under 20 lead, which is also the 3rd farthest jump by a Jamaican junior in the event. Of course, Jaden Hibbert has the record at 1787, and then second, James Beckford, at 1729, I believe. So he's in distinguished company now, is Michael Andre Edwards, one of 3 Jamaicans ever to go over 17 meters at this level. And we saw that jump and we're thinking, well, there's a battle now going on between Miles Naismith, because he held the lead up until the 5th round when Michael Andre Edwards took over that lead. And of course, he responded immediately, Naismith, in the 5th round to take the lead back from Michael Andre Edwards. And he has one more jump in the 6th round. And everybody was watching that jump, but he only managed the 15:89. That, Gavin, was one of the most exciting junior competitions in the field I've ever seen. Hammer for thong, back and forth between the American and the Jamaican. Absolutely exciting.
Yeah, as you said, outstanding performance from Edwards, being on the he's now 3rd ranked all-time under 20 for juniors, with Hibbert still leading at 1787, to show you how Hibbert's performances were excellent. And that's why he was able to win the world under 20 title twice, 2021 and 2022. Edwards now become one of the 2nd Jamaican to win gold in the under 20 championships. The excellent series of jump. It was a very exciting event. It's always interesting to see when athletes can overcome starting poorly and improve along the series.
Indeed. It also highlights, Gavin, Jamaica's continued excellence at field events. Because Jamaica, for a long time, we were known as the sprint capital of the world, and one of the criticisms of the Jamaican program was that we weren't producing beyond the sprint event, beyond the sprint hurdles, or beyond the hurdles. Now we're producing field events, athletes. We saw Jordan Scott winning the triple jump at the Commonwealth Games. We saw Kelia Smith and Shante Foreman winning medals in the triple jump at the Commonwealth Games. We saw young Beckford winning the high jump at the Commonwealth Games. Now we're seeing at the junior level, Michael Andre Edwards stepping forward. Now we're seeing Abel Mills making 2 finals. One of the favorites for the discus is a Jamaican Salmon, who we'll see performing in a short while. It speaks to the continued improvement in the field for Jamaica.
Right. So we can't no longer be considered just a sprinting. We are an athletic nation because we are very well rounded. I think one of the only event that we're yet to do well in is pole vault. So you can purchase some pole vault and give it over to some of the youth so they can try and improve. Overall, great performances in the field. We're catching up to the leaders. We are very competitive. Long jump, triple jump, high jump, discus, shot put. So we are putting down good performances, and we can be seriously considered to medal of some of these championships. So it's a good look for Jamaica. It's a good look overall for athletics, and the young athletes in the country can be inspired to. If you're not a sprinter, if you're not excellent in the 100 meters, there can try that with the right coaching, the right conditioning, you can become a master class at your event. So it's a good look for Jamaican track and field and athletics overall.
Yeah, man, I'm tempted to say that I said a few years ago that the field events and the hurdles and the field events would become as good as the sprinting. This is probably 4 or 5 years ago or more. And people were saying, "What are you talking about, Dave? And field events can never be as good as sprinting." And no, we're starting to see it. And I'm going to be bold again in my predictions and say that in another maybe 3 or 4 years, the field eventers will take over from the sprinters, and we'll start to see world records coming from the field from Jamaicans. We'll start to see the field eventers consistently winning more medals than the sprinters. It's happening, folks. Whether you like it or not, speed kills, and speed kills in any event, whether it's the 100 meters, the 200 meters, or the field. Speed is an essential part of track and field, and Jamaicans, we have the speed, and we now have the systems and the coaching in place, and I expect Jamaica to start now to really dominate the field events. News coming in, breaking news, the Jamaican quartet, the Jamaican quartet has made it to the men's under 24 by 400 meters relay final. They finished third in their heat. Of course, the Americans, they have quite a team, and they have more to bring in. No Quincy Wilson in their team, and the winner of the 400 flat, Dillian, also not there. So they have so much firepower to bring into that team, but they ran a world under 20 leading 3 minutes 04.55 to take the third and final heat. That's the fastest time, obviously, for the 4x400 meters relay. They drag the South Africans to second best overall in terms of times in the heat, 3 minutes 05.08. The Jamaicans finished third. And that third is significant because they have the third fastest time going into the final. And that is significantly faster than the team in fourth place. That is the Australians, who did 3 minutes 07.04. So we're just about a second faster than the Australians. Of course, that means nothing until you get to the finals. But the Jamaican team did pretty well. All of the guys did well. We were led out by Nishan Walker with an opening leg of 46.92. Jordan Woodall finished the second leg in 46.96. Jaden Campbell, the Excelsorian, did 46.29 to finish in his leg. And Jabulani McLeod, 46.27, anchored for Jamaica to have Jamaica finish in 3 minutes 06.44. Of course, the Jamaicans have the likes of Jason Pitter to bring onto that team. So when he gets on that team, we might see an even faster Jamaican team. They might just break 306, and a medal is certainly possible. Maybe even a silver medal possible for the Jamaicans. Expected to see that Jamaican 4x4 team in the final, Gavin?
If I'm expecting to see the team in the final.
No, if before the event, were you expecting them to make the final?
Yeah, definitely, because it's 9 lanes. So the top 3, and I knew that they were in the fastest heat. So that would be the biggest challenge. But definitely, I expected them to post a time that would qualify them for the final, at least. So they were, as I said, they were third in their event, third in their race, and because that race was the fastest time, we were third overall. So definitely, once a team comes together and strategize and run efficiently, I definitely see them at least getting a bronze medal.
Yeah, I agree. I think a medal is there for Jamaica. In terms of medal, by the way, folks, the day ended yesterday ended with Jamaica fifth on the medal table with 3 medals, 2 silver medals, and of course that golden goal from
Michael,
youngster Michael Andre Edwards. I'm watching to see if we can get the 4x100 meters results up, because that is the next event on track. So we'll see if we can get the information for that. So the first heat will, is it the 4x4 or yes, the 4x1s.
yeah.
The 4x1s are up next. I'm also looking to see what's going to happen in terms of the discus throw. Um, I'm watching something, but I'll confirm that in a second to see what is going on in terms of a discus throw. But let's get the assessment first of all from you, Gavin, in terms of how Jamaica has done so far in the event. What is your assessment in terms of our overall performance at the World Under 20s in Eugene, Oregon? How do you feel about the performances so far?
Performances have been good so far. Would have expected at least one goal, not necessarily in the triple jump, but at least in either of the 100 meters. So we, in a sense, we lost a goal, but we picked up one in another event. So far, one gold, 2 silver. Uh, some performances you'd have expected to be better. For example, there were no finalists in the 400 meters, men or women. And for a country that does well over the years, it's a bit disappointing that we don't have at least one finalist. Uh, but you still have to look on the other factors. Because, for example, Peter was a representative. Peter is still young. So you'd have to also look on the age group of the athletes that were sent. And a lot of them would have, based on their age, they can at least compete at another championship. So for now, is to just getting the experience. So for the next championship, they should be able to perform better.
Yeah, and that's another thing I want you to comment on, Gavin. I mean, I was saying it to somebody just yesterday that this is a very, very young team. When you look at, you mentioned Jason Pitter, he's only 16 years old. He's going to be 17 this year. Um, but he has another World Under 20s. He's going to be 19 in 2 years, or 18, 19 in 2 years. So he has another one in him. When you look at Shamika McLean, same thing, 16 going 17. She has another World Under 20s. Fowler, um, she has another World Under 20. So many. So Marquez, Taj Marquez, sorry, I said Marquez Page, sorry, that's then Jago man, Marquez Page. He's 16 going 17. He has another World Under 20s. He has the age, sorry, if he wants to and is fit and able to go to another World Under 20s. So you look at the team, it's a very, very young team.
Right. So with a young team like this and so much talent and potential, then with the right coaching, the right conditioning, then you would expect better performances should they make it to another team for the World Under 20 Championship.
Mm-hmm.
So as I said, this championship for a lot of them would be just to get the international experience. So a lot of them would have their biggest experience would have been on the character level. So this would have been the biggest meet they would have attended. So just to get the experience and the exposure. So for next championships, as I said, you'd expect them to put out better performances. But nonetheless, one gold, 2 silver thus far, with potential to increase, because we can at least expect. I would say we can expect a gold from Douglas in the 200 meters as well. She's still the favorite for that one. I think Card, He qualified, I think, with the sixth fastest time or seventh fastest time. I think there's still potential for him to medal. He was given lane 9 as an assignment, lane assignment. I think once he runs a good race, runs the curve, and and just finishes well, I think he still has a chance to medal. Uh, Johnson as well that qualified for the 200 meters. I think she's in a position to also medal given the right circumstances. And we have to look on the other factors. It's very humid in Oregon, and a lot of the athletes are not benefiting from the condition in there. But as I said, we're in some good positions to even if we look at medal to, to place well in the final. So overall, it's a great look for us. I judge success not just on those who medals, but also the placings. So you look at how many finalists we have in an event and how many finalists in events overall to compare it to previous editions to see how successful a team is. So it's just not the medal tally that we bring home, but it's also the overall performance of the team.
Yes, indeed. I want to make a mention. Um, I want to make a mention of Johnson, Shoshana Johnson, because I do believe that she's a dark horse. She qualified fourth fastest in terms of the athletes into the final, and many people are not watching her. They're watching the Maxwell twins, and they're watching Shania Douglas, and many people have already issued medals and saying this one is going to get gold, this one is going. Shoshana Johnson is PBing after PB after PB, PB'd at our trials to beat Natrice East and to take and to secure that second spot. Came to the World Under 20 Championships when everybody was looking ragged from the Jamaican team. PB'd to make the semi-final. Came into the semi-final again, not necessarily fancied. PB'd to make the final. And I do believe that she has a 22.6, 22.7 somewhere in there. And if she gets to 22.6, 22.7, I am pretty sure she will walk away with a medal. Probably won't be a gold medal, but it will be a medal. And I'll tell you again, the folks have also issued the gold medal to the Americans with the Maxwell twins in terms of the 4x1s. We'll have some information on the 4x1s after the break. But I tell you, if the Jamaicans get it right with Terry Long, with Douglas, with East, with Johnson, they can create an upset. Let's give you the medal table before we go to the break. So I'll give you the medal table and then we'll go to the break. So the medal table currently sees the Americans sitting on top with just about 9 medals, 4 golds, 5 silver. No bronze medals for them yet. So it's either gold or silver for the Americans. In terms of second, we have 2 teams tied. The People's Republic of China with 5 medals, 2 golds, 1 silver, 2 bronze, same as Kenya. Both teams tied for second. Fourth, Ethiopia with 1 gold, 2 silver, 1 bronze, the same count that France currently has. 1 gold, 2 silver, 1 bronze. So a total of 4 medals. And then Jamaica comes in at 6 with 1 gold, 2 silver, and no bronze medal. So same thing for Jamaica, either gold or silver for us so far. And if we do as well as we suspect Jamaica will do in the 200 meters later on other events, we might just climb that medal table from 6th and get closer to the top 3. But I'll tell you what, folks, it's just about 2 o'clock now. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll take the break. When we come back from the break, we won't have Gavin, but we'll have a second guest on and we'll talk a little bit of football, a little bit of cricket, as well as what is going on at the World Under 20s. Sir Nash, do we go to the break now? Radio listeners, Sports 365 returns to NRP Radio this and every Saturday at 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. and again on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. with me, David Nugent. Alongside me will be Mr. Winston Harrison as we take on topical sporting items. Sports 365 highlights what's happening now. Tune in to listen via radio on our website at nrpmediaja.com or download the NRP radio app from the Google Play Store. Our live radio shows, while aired on nrpmediaja.com, are supported by Facebook Live broadcast at Leon Nash and YouTube Live and TikTok at NRP Media JA. Join this budding religious station with a difference, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Hepburn's Glass Supplies is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glasses. We have in stock gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none, with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 908-0962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass. Quality service is our priority.
The National Religious Partnership Media and Radio presents Let's Talk Worship and Music, The Experience. Live on NRP Radio every Monday evening from 8 to 9:30 p.m. Join the team of Omar Tomlinson, Trevor Singh, Marlon Fraser, alongside Leon Nash as they delve into the various issues relating to this crucial aspect of church ministry. It's an experience you do not want to miss.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. We had Gavin with us for just about half an hour. And if you remember, we had my good friend Dr. O'Shea Hudson with us last week. He was supposed to be on again this week, but I'm getting a message just now that unfortunately he won't be able to join us today. He's feeling a little bit under the weather. So we say speedy recovery to you, Dr. O'Shea Hudson. We need you at your best. Because we will be having you on again at some point. So we'll continue. The show has to go on. As we said, show has to go on. So we'll just go through some of the happenings. As we said, we'll be talking a little bit about cricket, football, and other stuff in the second half of the program. But we also wanted to keep you updated in terms of what's happening in Eugene, Oregon. So the women's 4x100 meters is on the way, the heats. And again, top three makes the final. Heat number one is already completed. So heat number one completed in Eugene, Oregon, with the Swiss team winning in 43.99. They make the finals. Belgium second, 44.33. Spain third, 44.54. So they make it automatically to the final. Jamaica's team also announced Samoya Brown will lead off for Jamaica. She will be passing to Tianali Terrelong on the second leg. Natrice East will be running that bend. And then Renicia Edwards will close the show out for Jamaica. Of course, with the two, Shanoya Douglas and Sushana Johnson, making the final of the 200 meters that will happen later on. They probably being rested and will be brought in for the final at some point. But Jamaica has rich history in this event, and we'll be looking forward to seeing them and how they perform. In terms of the cricket, CPL started just last night, and the Jamaicans uh, were back in action. Of course, for a few seasons, Jamaica did not have a franchise team. We now have a franchise team, the Jamaica Kingsmen, and they opened their account last night with, unfortunately, a close loss to the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons. Jamaicans batting first compiled 167 for 7, which was a competitive total. They were led by Captain Rovman Powell. Uh, Rovman, he made 47 from 37 deliveries with the 2 4s and 3 6s. So explosive hitting from Captain Rovman Powell was supported by overseas player Hendricks, who made 42 from 25 delivery, opening the batting. Support also came from the likes of Kimo Paul, who had a cameo knock of 16 from 6 deliveries. The Kingsmen then were required to restrict the Falcons to 166 or less from their 20 overs. But the Falcons, they won on the last delivery of the match. Very last delivery of the match. They were led by an enterprising 62 from 37 deliveries from Tanjir Singh, who had 7 4s and 1 6 in his 37 ball knock. And also supporting him was Tim Robinson, who made 40 from 30 deliveries with 2 4s and 2 6. Raheem Cornwall opened the batting for the Falcons, made 24 from 21 deliveries with 2 4s and 2 6. But it was indeed drama, drama, drama at the end. The Falcons, they needed just 2 runs from the last delivery. They knew that a dot ball would mean that they would have lost the match. One would have tied it, and 2 or more would have won it for them. In the end, it was Harain Shaw, who, that Shamar Springer, who got the 2 runs. Shaw bowling to Springer, uh, conceded those 2 runs after what seemed like a match winning over. Up until that point in the match, he had conceded just 4 runs from 5 deliveries and taken 2 wickets. It seemed at that point that he would have bowled the Kingsman to victory, but it wasn't to be on the night, and they got the required 6 runs from the final over. So the Jamaican franchise starting their reintroduction into the cricket, the CPL, with a loss. Of course, they still have opportunities to bounce back from that loss. The next match will be a home match at Sabina Park. That's going to be on Tuesday, August 11th, starting at 8 p.m. Jamaica time. And they'll take on the Barbados Tridents. And that match the Barbados Royals. So they'll take on the Barbados Royals at Sabina Park on Tuesday, August 11th at 8 p.m. CPL returns to Jamaica after a few years of being absent. We'll have a home team to cheer for. And of course, we'll definitely be watching that as the Knightsmen take on the Royals. Of course, the Knightsmen, they will have to bounce back from that loss pretty quickly to get things back on track. We also want to talk about, in terms of the cricket, the loss that the West Indies had to Pakistan. As we said, they lost 8 wickets, lost by 8 wickets, sorry. And I think that at this point, it is going to be interesting to see how the West Indies react to that loss, because it is a situation where I think the entire team needs to be looked at, and we may need to make some changes. Yes, we've seen the likes of Jangu make runs. Yes, we've seen the likes of Hope and Chase and Greaves and others make runs. But for me, it's not just a situation of are you making runs, but are you consistently making runs? I am having a little bit of difficulty. You make a double century, and then for the next 5 to 10 matches, it's nothingness. I have a difficulty with that. If you can make a double century, it means that you are capable. It means that you can bat. But I just don't feel that the batsmen in the West Indies team have the hunger to continue to pile on runs. And that is where you have the separation of the players who are good, average, and who are great. I think our guys are average because they lack the desire to pile on runs. Look at a Brian Lara, makes 100, wants to go and make a double century the next match. Makes a double century, wants to make a triple the next match. He is always hungry. He's never ever satisfied with making runs. He wants to make more. And I think the batsmen in this West Indies team, they make a big score and they know, hey, I'm secured for the next 5 to 10 test matches. And so no matter what I do, I'm safe. And that's the way they play. That's the way they look. I think we also need to look at the bowling. This test match, we lost by 8 wickets, played on a spin-friendly surface. And yes, Jamel Warrican, he got 6 412 in the first innings. But if you look at that 6 412, it was done over, I think, something like 40 odd overs. On a spin-friendly pitch, where opposition bowlers are getting 8 wickets for spit, you have to at least match them. If you are going to be our frontline spinner on a spinning pitch, you have to at least match what the opposition is doing. And if you're not matching that, then we're going to be in problems. As we said, by the way, we're keeping track on what is happening in Eugene, Oregon. And heat number 2 is done. The Germans, they won heat number 2 with 44.09. The Trinis, so Trinidad finishing second with 45.03. They'll make the final. Canada finishing third with 45.03. The same time as the Trinis, they had to go down to the thousandth of a second to separate the Trinis from the Canadians. It doesn't really matter. Well, it might matter in terms of where they are placed in the lane draw, but both teams, Trinidad and Canada, having finished in the top 3, make it to the final. And coming through, breaking news. America, the US is out. Let me see if I can confirm this, because this would be breaking a massive bit of news here out of Oregon. Yes, the Americans are out. The Americans, their team, Madeline Cooper, Eva Kitchens, Sanya Keaton, and Nelia Sizemore finished 4th in heat number 3 in 43.67. That time, though fourth quickest overall, will not get them into the final. As the rules are clear, it's top three and done. You make the top three, you go to the final. If you finish fourth, no matter the time, you're out. So they finished fourth in heat number 3. So the Americans won't feature in the finals of the women's 4x100 meters at the World Under 20 in Eugene, Oregon. Breaking news, massive news now out of Oregon. Let me give you the results. So the Australians had a blazing start from Belle Phillip with 11.67 on the opening leg. They won in 43-44, sorry. So 43-44. Emil Reed anchoring them home in 10.54. And this is going to be interesting to see how this works out. Very, very interesting, because I don't know what the Jamaicans are going to do with this team. Because while they finished second in 43-61, that opening leg by Samoa Brown, perhaps the weakest of all the legs, 12.21. So obviously she might be replaced for the final. I think she will be replaced. And that will give Jamaica a huge, huge advantage as we go into the final as a second fastest team overall. And we'll have the likes of Shania Douglas and the likes of Sashana Johnson to add to the team. But again, who do we add? Because if you look at the splits, Terry Long, fantastic second leg there. She did 10.27 on the second leg. And that is the fastest of the second legs. And then the third leg, Natrice East, a solid third leg from East. Very solid third leg from her. Put the Jamaicans back in it. And so Terry Long started because we were pretty much last at the first exchange. After that, we were about 6th or 7th, so I wouldn't say last. So poor first leg from Brown, or weakest leg. Then Terry Long pulled things back. East continued. And then Renisha Edwards finished it up and ensured that Jamaica finished in the top 3, finished second. And it's going to be interesting to see when Shania Douglas comes onto this team. I think this team is going to be super fast because she is the hammer. Johnson may come in on that first leg. We may see Shania Douglas coming in on that anchor leg. But I think if this team gets the passes right, gets the exchange right, they're favorites. I'm telling you, this is going to be interesting. The Americans won't be there, so Jamaica with the advantage. But as I said, we're going to keep it pushing. And the next thing we're going to be talking about is a little bit of football. The Jamaican team, the under-20 team, that is, competing at the CONCACAF under-20 championships, they went up against the Canadians knowing that a victory would see them through to the semifinals and also to the World Under-20 World Cup. And it was a hard-fought match between the Jamaicans and the Canadians. Of course, the Canadians, they prevailed in the end by 3 goals to 1. And the Jamaicans having to fight back as they've pretty much had to do throughout the tournament after the Canadians took the lead. Nolan Edwards equalized for Jamaica at just about full time. A last-minute penalty ensured that the Jamaicans were able to push the match into extra time. But the Canadians, in extra time, they managed to secure 2 goals and ensure that they beat the Jamaicans and would secure that spot to the World Cup and secure their semi-final place in the CONCACAF Under-20 Championships. So, unfortunately for the Jamaicans, they won't be at the under 20 World Cup in football. Pretty much that's the news happening in sports, Sir Nash. So,
All right. So are you going to take a break and come back, or are you going to be doing the wrap?
so we'll take the break, and when we come back from the break, we'll wrap. So we'll take a break at this point, and when we come back from the break, we'll wrap up.
All right, Farrell.
We are the Brown Family, and you're listening to NRP Media and Radio. Reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitation.
Glass Supplies is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glasses. We have in stock gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none, with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 908-0962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass. Quality service is our priority.
Gospel lovers, mark the date. Every Saturday from 7 to 11 p.m. It's time to tune in to the Weekend's Gospel Show with the one and only blessed man, Leon Nash. Join the 4-hour musical journey that's uplifting, inspiring, and energizing, featuring powerful gospel hits, Bible trivia, engaging interviews, and all the latest news and weather updates. Plus, of course, heartfelt birthdays and anniversary shout-outs. Whether you're winding down or getting lifted up, this show delivers non-stop praise, positivity, and purpose. Tell a friend, spread a word, and don't forget, it's the music, and yes, even more music. Stay connected and follow at NRP Media JA on all platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. It's the Weekend's Gospel Show, every Saturday from 7 to 11 p.m., where faith meets rhythm and information meets inspiration.
Radio listeners, Sports 365 returns to NRP Radio this and every Saturday at 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. and again on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. with me, David Nugent. Alongside me will be Mr. Winston Harrison as we take on topical sporting items. Sports 365 highlights what's happening now. Tune in to listen via radio on our website at nrpmediaja.com or download the NRP radio app from the Google Play Store. Or live radio shows, while aired on nrpmediaja.com, are supported by Facebook live broadcast at Leon Nash and YouTube live and TikTok at NRP Media JA. Join this budding religious station with a difference, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
24 minutes now after the hour of 2 o'clock. We hand it back now to Davion on the sports desk. Over to you, sir.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back, folks. We're watching or keeping close track on what's happening in Eugene, Oregon. There's no fierce debate happening in the world of sport about the qualifying standard or the qualifying metric at the World Under 20s. Interesting that that discussion didn't come up before. I know that the Americans, having run the fourth fastest in qualifying, are out of the final.
That's a very interesting one, though.
Yeah, they run faster than there are 9 teams in there, and
yes,
of the 9 teams in the final, they've run faster than I think 6 teams. So only 3 teams in the final would have ran faster than them, and 6 teams in the final would have ran slower than them. And there's no a raging debate because I'm getting messages now all over the place about how is it that the Americans, having run so fast in the heats, will be in the final. And I think that is a question that should have been asked before we got to this point, because regardless of whether the Americans would have finished in the top 3, because the Nigerians finished like a house on fire to nip the Americans on the line. Had it been a situation where the Nigerians did not get to the Americans and they would have finished 4th, then they would have ran the 4th fastest time into the heats, and they would not have made the finals. And I'm wondering if that debate would have been as boisterous as it is now. It is something that should have really have happened before. No, it shouldn't have happened after the fact. It should have happened before now. And I think there are going to be lots of questions asked about the format of these World Under 20s.
Okay. Well, so where we're at with the standings now in terms of all those who are left in the race.
Well, as I said, the medal table is getting a little bit interesting because Jamaica is 6th, but we are now expected with the Americans out to pick up a few more gold medals. Will it be enough for Jamaica to finish top of the table? I don't think so, but I'm suspecting that Jamaica will finish in the top 3, usual placing, top 5, top 3. So it is getting interesting. But in terms of the 4x100 meters, Jamaica has now the second fastest time coming in, just behind the Australians, who ran a fantastic race. All 4 legs were simply fantastic. But the Jamaicans, they have the major firepower to bring in terms of Shania Douglas. And it's going to be an interesting debate now. Who do you bring in? Because originally you'd have thought that the 200 ladies, are the 2 ladies who made the final of the 200, would come in. That is Johnson and Douglas. But it's obvious that Brown, who ran the first leg, who probably ran the weakest leg of the 4, will be removed for Douglas. But no, the debate is, should we also bring in Johnson? Because other 3 ladies, Terry Long, East, and Bernice Edwards, all ran terrific legs. I think if the plan originally was to bring in Johnson and Douglas, then you stick to that plan. If the plan was to bring only Douglas in, then you stick to that plan. I don't think we need to change the plan, because whoever we bring it, well, we are going to bring Shania Douglas in. And once we bring Shania Douglas in, I think that gives us the advantage in terms of foot speed. And then the only question is, can we keep the baton in hand? If we do that, if we have adequate passes, Jamaica is with the Americans out, Jamaica is without a doubt the overwhelming favorite in the 4x1s.
So tell me once again, when will all of this come to a conclusion? It's not for the rest of today.
No, it's not for the rest of today. So it's a 5-day meet. We are on day number 4. So this will come to a conclusion tomorrow. Okay. So we'll know decisively tomorrow when or where Jamaica places and how many medals we'll get. We're hopeful of a few more medals. I'll tell you that. One of the favorites in the discus throw, Joseph Salmon, he comes up in about a half an hour or so. He'll have qualifying for the discus throw, and he's another person that Jamaica is looking towards to get a medal. And as I say that, breaking news now, Jamaica also qualifies for the final of the men's 4x100 meters. So after a slow first day or so, first couple of days, the Jamaicans are on fire at the World Under-20 Championships. The team of Kyle Budden, Nyron Wade, Nathaniel Martin, and Sanjay Seymour, they ran 39.51 to win their heat. So they won their heat, so they're going in as heat winners. And of course, they'll have Gary Card to bring onto that team. I think it's going to be a straight swap, Sanjay Seymour for Gary Card. And that should be good enough, I think, for Jamaica to secure a medal once the changes are safe. So Jamaica looking up right now at the World Under-20 Championships in Eugene, Oregon.
Well, is it safe for us to say to our listeners and viewers that come later on this evening, we will have a full summary of the activities that would have gone on for today, what's happening in the world of sports, football, netball, cricket, whatever, for our program this evening on the Weekend's Gospel Show?
Absolutely safe. We'll have a full summary of all that happened in terms of football, cricket, netball, everything. We'll have that full summary. It's a wonderful, wonderful.
And then come tomorrow. Day. Then come tomorrow. We hope to get a recorded a version of the commentary of that particular race, so that we can hear it right here on NRP Radio.
Indeed. So we'll get that done for you, and we'll work to ensure that on NRP Radio, in terms of sports, you have the latest and you have that excitement. You know, David Nugent is the vibes man.
Indeed.
Gets it going. So we'll have all of that for you later on today. We'll definitely work on that for you. And I say to Jamaica, sport is happening right now, and Jamaica is doing well. I say with little, but with talawa.
Mm-hmm. All right, so it's over to you to do the wrap, sir. We are at 2:31. We thank you so much. Over to you. Do it for all the listeners and viewers online.
Indeed. So we want to say thank you to all the listeners and the viewers who tuned in today. It's been a pleasure bringing you the sports news for the day. I also want to thank my guest who came on, Gavin, who had a little bit of talk with us. And we look forward to continue to bringing you the sports news live. And we close today's program the same way we always do, by saying God bless you and God bless Jamaica.
Well, there you have it, friends. It's been on Sports 365 Saturday. And of course, David Nugent there, anchoring there for NRP, giving you the latest in terms of what's taking place across the world. I want to say to you, inviting you back to our viewership and listenership right here on the station on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, God's willing, and all things being equal, for us to definitely be back here with another edition of the Sports 365 program. We want to get on with our Tuesday night session as well, looking at different issues. I'm sure on Tuesday, David will have updates in terms of what's taking place in the world of sports for you, in terms of what's happening out there, and additionally for the news and things that are also happening. He will have his guests coming through to also be on the program with you. So look forward to that at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday evening right here on NRP Radio and NRP Media. This has been a wonderful day, and I come back to you at 7 o'clock this evening or somewhere nearby there, right, for the Weekend's Gospel Show. And of course, at 8:30, we're going to be talking about the whole matter of the impact of nutrition on our children's mental health. We're going to be having a host of individuals joining us this evening. You are going to be part of it as well, and we look forward to mental health, nutrition, and its impact on mental health. Can our children really function without proper nutrition? And what are some of the things that you should ensure that your children do eat to ensure that they maintain the good functioning of the brain? so that they can be, very, very useful individuals in the society, and as a matter of fact, in the institutions. All right, so stick and stay with us right here on NRP. We're going to be breaking off now of the live, and we're going to head back to the discussion, and not the discussion, but the regular programming on NRP Radio as well. So join us on the radio platform now, nrpmediaja.com. All right, go over to our radio platform, nrpmediaja.com, and listen to ongoing programming, and then come back with us at 7 o'clock Jamaica time for the live, the weekend's gospel show. Stick and stay. There's more to meet you later on as we go over now to radio and log off from the live and say, brothers and sisters, thank you so much for being here.
ISO praises. You're listening to NRP Media and Radio.